Femi, a successful tech entrepreneur, enjoyed the fruits of his labor. He was not your average young man. At 35, he had already made a name for himself as a successful entrepreneur and a philanthropist. He dedicated his time and resources to improving the lives of those less fortunate. He built schools, provided clean water, and supported various community projects. He lived in a luxurious mansion with his mother, Morayo, a proud woman who had high expectations for her son. One sunny afternoon, Femi set off on a trip to inspect a newly completed water project in a small village called Ireti. This village had been struggling with a lack of clean water for years. Femi's foundation had drilled a borehole and installed a water pump, a project that was now nearing completion. As he arrived in Ireti, Femi was greeted with cheers and gratitude from the villagers. He could see the joy and relief in their faces, which always warmed his heart. Among the crowd, one person stood out, a beautiful young woman named Sade. She was tending to an elderly woman, helping her drink from a newly installed tap. Her kindness and gentle demeanor immediately caught Femi's attention. After the formalities and speeches, Femi approached Sade. "Hello, my name is Femi Adeyemi," he introduced himself with a warm smile. Sade looked up, a bit surprised but composed. "Hello, Mr. Adeyemi. I'm Sade. Thank you for what you've done for our community." "It's my pleasure, Sade. Please call me Femi. I noticed how you were caring for the elders. It's quite admirable," he said, genuinely impressed. Sade blushed slightly. "Thank you. I try to help wherever I can. These people are like family to me." Curious about her background, Femi asked, "What do you do, Sade?" "I'm a teacher at the local school. I also volunteer at the health clinic. We don't have much, but we do our best to take care of each other," she explained. Over the next few weeks, Femi found himself returning to Ireti more often than he had originally planned. Each visit gave him an excuse to see Sade, and each encounter deepened his admiration for her. They exchanged phone numbers and began communicating regularly. Femi was struck by her intelligence, humility, and the genuine care she showed for her community. One evening, back at his home, Femi decided to share his feelings with his mother, Morayo. "Mother, I've met someone. Her name is Sade, and she lives in Ireti, one of the villages we support." Morayo looked at her son skeptically. "A village girl, Femi? Are you serious? She's not of our class. You deserve someone from a more suitable background." Femi sighed, expecting this reaction. "Mother, Sade may live in a small community, but she is educated and learned. She is a teacher and a volunteer. She has a heart of gold, and I love her." Morayo shook her head. "Femi, you don't understand. She's not right for you. She will never fit into our world." "Maybe it's our world that needs to change, Mother," Femi replied calmly. "I love Sade, and I believe she is the one for me." Despite his mother's objections, Femi continued to pursue his relationship with Sade. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, built on mutual respect, love, and shared values. Femi admired Sade's dedication to her community and her selflessness, qualities he found lacking in the women from his affluent circle. Months went by, and Femi finally decided to propose. He planned a simple but heartfelt proposal in Ireti, surrounded by the people who had become like family to Sade. As he knelt down and presented the ring, Sade's eyes filled with tears of joy. "Sade, you have shown me the true meaning of love and kindness. Will you marry me and make me the happiest man alive?" Femi asked, his voice full of emotion. "Yes, Femi, I will marry you," Sade replied, her heart bursting with happiness. Their wedding was a beautiful blend of culture and traditions, celebrating their love and commitment. However, Femi's mother, Morayo, was far from pleased. During the ceremony, she sat with a frown, clearly uncomfortable and disapproving of the union. She looked down on Sade's family, feeling that they were beneath her social status. As the ceremony progressed, Femi and Sade exchanged their vows with heartfelt sincerity. Femi glanced at his mother, hoping to see a change of heart, but Morayo's face remained stern. She could not hide her disdain, even on such a joyous occasion. Despite his mother's attitude, Femi and Sade's love for each other shone brightly. They celebrated their union with joy and pride, surrounded by friends and family who supported them. Femi's happiness was palpable, and Sade, grace, and poise won over many guests, even those who had shared Morayo's initial reservations. The newlyweds moved into their own home, eager to start their life together. But Morayo's disapproval simmered beneath the surface, and she was determined to end their marriage. Sade faced several challenges due to Morayo's continued disapproval. She constantly made disparaging remarks about Sade's background and tried to sow discord between the couple. Femi, however, stood firmly by his wife's side, defending her and their love. During one of Morayo's visits to her son's residence, Sade felt squeezed and rushed to the toilet to relieve herself. Morayo sabotages Sade's food after discovering she went to the restroom. She sneaked into the kitchen and sprinkled extra salt on the food Sade had prepared to serve the family. When Sade returned to the kitchen, she carried the food to the dining table, unaware that Morayo had added too much salt. Morayo expressed her discontent during dinner. Femi, you did not tell me that your wife intends to poison me. This dish is very terrible. How could you marry a lady who can't even cook well? Sade was taken aback by how salty the dish was. She was confident that the food she had prepared was not salty, but she couldn't say anything to defend herself. Sad, hot and bewildered, apologized to Morayo. Mama, I'm sorry, I will do better next time. You better do or else. Morayo said with an angry gaze. Femi, however perplexed by the ongoing situation, stood by Sade, reminding her of his love. When her cooking sabotage failed to break their bond, Morayo devised a new plan. One morning, when Femi was away on a business trip, Morayo instructed Sade to wash all the dirty clothes, forbidding the maids from doing the laundry. Sade, you need to wash all these clothes today. The maids have other tasks, Morayo ordered. Sade, eager to please her mother-in-law, would spend hours scrubbing and washing. She hoped her obedience would earn Morayo's acceptance, but her efforts seemed in vain. When her husband is away, she occasionally breaks down in tears in her room. After being mistreated by her mother-in-law, she was growing weary, but what kept Sade going was her love for Femi. She bore the suffering with the hope that things would get better in the end. Sade was sleeping until Morayo woke her up at 7 in the morning. She said, "Get up and cook for me. Additionally, burn wood rather than cooking gas." Sade attempted to clarify that, particularly with the availability of cooking gas, firewood was no longer needed. Morayo insisted, though. She made fun of her, saying, "That's what you used to cook with before meeting my son who upgraded you, isn't it?" Sade set out to find firewood because she was determined to win over her mother-in-law. She cooks with it, enduring the difficult task in the hopes that it would placate Morayo. But the abuse persisted without end. On a lovely weekend, Femi and Sade were having a nice time watching a movie in their sitting room when Morayo barged in, bringing a young woman named Titi. "Femi, this is Titi. She comes from a good family and will make a perfect wife. It's been a year, and Sade hasn't given you a child. It's time to consider your future," Morayo announced. "Mom, who told you I need a second wife? Nothing will ever make my wife any less of my affection. I've said it multiple times, we're not ready to start a family just yet." Femi said, clearly angry. "Sade and I want to focus on ourselves for now. And I refuse to send my wife away." When Sade heard this, she was relieved that her husband could support her. This infused her with hope. Seeing her plans fail, Morayo grew increasingly frustrated. One evening, Femi, Sade, and Morayo returned from a trip to one of the communities they used their donations to benefit. A weird guy appeared out of nowhere and gave Sade a hug, just as they were ready to enter their flat. "Hello, Sade. You have been greatly missed. I'm so glad we've finally met." With excitement, he said. Sade was stunned. "Who are you?" Sade expressed confusion. "This is Kunle. For the past month, we have been chatting online. Additionally, we also exchanged pictures. You even shared your home address with me. You stated that we were to meet at your house by 5 p.m. today. Thus, here I am," Kunle exclaimed with excitement. Femi's voice trembled, confused and bewildered. "What's going on here, Sade? Kindly provide me with an explanation." "Honey, I'm just as bewildered as you are right now. I promise you, I've never heard of this man from Adam." Morayo placed her hands on top of her head, looking shocked. "Look at your life, Femi. Did I not forewarn you about this village girl? You shouldn't be with her. I told you, however, you pushed for her marriage. At last, she has embarrassed our family. Just look at her. Harlot. She growled to Femi and her mother-in-law. Sade made an effort to clarify. Femi is not what you think it is. Please believe me, this man is not someone I know at all. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered. Femi is bewildered, out of words, and unsure about what to do. Murayo said, "You want our faith, don't you? Kunle, please give Murayo a call." When Kunle called, Sade noticed that the number was saved as Kunle Love on her phone. As Murayo saw the number, she exclaimed, "Your secret can no longer be kept a secret because it has been revealed." Sade was taken aback by the phone number that was saved in her phone without her knowledge. "What? I don't think I saved this number as my contact." She muttered, looking confused. Doubt began to gnaw into Femi's confidence in Sade. He gave in to his mother's manipulations because he couldn't believe what he was seeing and hearing. Sade's heart broke when Femi said, "Get out of my house, it's unbelievable that you would betray me in this way. Once I've done everything for you, how could you go to such lengths to use a riffraff to cheat on me? Right now, I am so disappointed in you. Please pack your things and go out of my house right away." His expression was stern and cold, his heart breaking as he spoke to Sade. Sade made an effort to beg and clarify. Femi, however, became deaf. He insisted that Sade leave his home immediately.
Thank you for staying with me to the end of this tale. However, this is only just the beginning. Perhaps more secrets lies ahead. Is Sade being framed by an imposter? Or is she merely pretending to be framed? Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll wait the next part with interest. To keep up with my most recent tales, don't forget to like, click the notification bell, and subscribe. Thank you.